Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Novak. I hope everything's going fine with you. I have three aquariums I want to show you. And the first one is from Joe. Joe is from Down Under. He is from Melbourne, Australia. And what he is going to show you here, or what I'm going to show you here, is what he did to his aquarium. I'll read you what he wrote me. He states the first thing is I made up a few bags, bra wash bags. Apparently that's what he made his BCB bags out of, these bags that you put bras in to clean them, of Anoxic Filter BCB bags using fluorite red and kitty litter back in November. I got rid of all other filter media. Okay, he also states I also installed a dual water filter which drip feeds into an old canister filter, which is a Sun canister filter housing, through a float valve above the sump. Then that drip feeds into the pump chamber of the sump again through a float valve, which keeps the water level constant. The pump then pumps the water through a UV sterilizer into the tank. I have a drip system tube that fits up the overflow pipe from the tank, and that is metered and fills up a 220-liter drum outside, which I use to water my plants. So the water is fully cycled weekly. It's not pretty, but hell, it's the best I have used so far. And the top of the filter basket above my sump, which would be the blue one, I have a coarse sponge, which is black, then a layer of polyfilter, which would be the white, then a carbon sponge, which would be the black one on the bottom. I replace the polyfill every 2 weeks and wash out the sponges and replace them. Takes about 15 minutes, if that. So every fortnight, he cleans everything up every 2 weeks. Once a week, I wipe down the inside of the glass of the aquarium. I have a mesh basket floating, but fixed on top of the water. Basically, he's using the floating basket as like a feeding ring, or a feeding basket, if you want to call it that. And I put all the food in there which the Discus peck at, till all gone. I feed them beef heart mix, Australian dried blackworms, and Sarah insect twice a day, alternating. No more do I have to turn off pumps or have uneaten food go down to the sump, which makes sense. That's a big problem with people feeding Discus, where he solves the problem by putting everything in a basket and they just go pick at it as they want it. Because usually when you put the food in, we've seen videos like that, and then what happens, all the food flows to the bottom of the aquarium, and then if the pump picks it up, it throws it back into the sump and pollutes. So I see he's kind of, here's the food, eat it when you want, and the basket kind of controls how much food they're going to get and in proper amounts, so you don't waste a lot of food going to the bottom aquarium. Pretty smart idea. I have a Sun pump. He calls it a blower. It's a pump that sucks water from the bottom of the tank, which would be like a power head or something like that, but it's a pump of the tank, and shoots it up to the top, taking all the detritus with it and into the overflow. So in other words, it's a circulation pump. It's sucking water from the bottom of the aquarium, blowing it to the top, and keeping things circulated. This does not seem to affect the disc, as the flow is right at the bottom. I don't use chemicals anymore, and the discs are not stressed by endless water changes. The water is crystal clear 24/7, and the bare bottom is clean. My ammonia is 0. pH is in the low 6s and stable. My nitrates hover around 5 parts per million to 10 parts per million. And I'm hoping as the system matures that will also read 0. I have 13 adult discus and a 6 by 2 by 2 tank. Let's see. I have never, the discus have never looked healthier. They are vibrant and color is vibrant. And the best of all, no sick fish that die and break your heart from dying, which is when anyone knows if you had discus 30, 40 years ago, water changes had to be done, and that did not guarantee that you would have the healthiest of discus even then. Thank you for your videos and advice. They are great, and this is from Joe. This is Joe's Aquarium. As you can see by his discus, they're beautiful. So a lot of people who have discus aquarium, they will use reverse osmosis. It doesn't look like he's using a reverse osmosis system. He's just using the 2 water filters. Probably one is a micron filter, and the other one could be a micron filter with carbon or something like that. But it's not reverse osmosis. Anyhow, this is Joe's tank, which is absolutely beautiful. His fish are gorgeous. Now, this is what everybody wants when they have a discus tank, something like this. And they want low maintenance. Every fortnight, he cleans out his basket that has the sponge and the polyfilter. That's pretty good. You're not a slave then to your aquarium, constantly changing filter socks every so many days. That's wonderful to hear. I'm sure a lot of people are very interested in this, but his tank and his discus are absolutely gorgeous. And I want to thank Joe from Australia for sending it to me. Okay, this is one of those goldfish lover tanks. If you love goldfish, this is from Win, and his plenum is now 3 years old. And he states, I built this plenum by your inspiration about 3 months ago. The substrate is about 5 inches deep. The bottom layer is green zeolite, and on top of the aquarium is sand, no superfine sand. My plenum has 1 extra bubbler as spare in case the first one collapses. Now I'm running both of them at very slow rate. My goal is to reduce weekly nitrates from 80 parts per million to below 40 parts per million. And this is Wynn's Goldfish Aquarium. And once again, these are gorgeous goldfish. He does have a few plants in the aquarium, not much really. As you can see, he has an above the tank filtering system, which he has a pump inside the tank, picks up the dirty water, sends it up to the top, and then the top spills back into the aquarium. And I noticed that a lot of people who are overseas like the above tank filtering system versus here in America, we will use, canister filters or sumps. And I do notice that a lot more overseas where they use above tank filters versus us using sumps. But anyhow, this is Win. I want to thank Win for his pictures. And now for the last one. Okay, this is Jimmy's Aquarium. And he is from California. And I have been tuning in on your YouTube channel since the start of our global health crisis. It has been quite a wonderful learning experience listening to your aquarium lectures. Thank you for generating all of your priceless content and making them accessible to us aquarium hobbyists free of charge. Back in July of 2017, I purchased an Aquamax. I think we have a typo here. He says Aquamax 22-foot long rimless aquarium. I don't think it's a 22 foot. Maybe it's a 2 foot. It must have had a typo there. I mean, once I read that 22 foot long, woo, man, this is a big aquarium. But no, by the pictures, no, I think this is like a 2 foot or aquarium, rimless aquarium from Marine Depot is where he bought it from. Definitely, it's got to be a smaller aquarium. Couldn't be a 22 foot. No, not a 22 foot. I think we'll agree upon that. It's not something that could be shipped very easily. With the intention of setting it up as a planted tank to house different species of tropical fish. However, work and various life events took precedence over my aquarium hobby. The tank sat on a wire shelf for about a good 5 years, collecting dust until I decided to set it up using your slow-moving plenum method. Attached are photos of the aquarium and its current state after having been set up for about 2 months. It is work in progress. Please feel free to post on your YouTube channel. Let's see. At the aquarium bottom, I covered the entire span with using Eheim biological filter medium. Those would be the little balls that you're looking at the bottom. On top of that, there is a Lee's under gravel filter plate, along with another set of generic plates at the far right. The Lee's under gravel filter plate purchased on Amazon came in 4 sections, but it was not possible to fit all of them into the rimless aquarium as they were not designed specifically for my aquarium. Since I did not want to leave a good portion of the tank plenumless, I filled in the gaps with some smaller under gravel plates purchased on eBay. On top of the under gravel plate filter plates, I applied 2 layers of plastic mesh sheets. That's those the mesh sheets he's talking about are the craft sheets. Okay, a lot of people use them. It's the thicker craft sheets. They come in white, green, black, you name it. You can buy those if you're in America, like at Joann Fabrics or something like that. Let's see, purchase from Joann's. Oh, okay. Well, that's where he bought them from. The first layer of mesh sheet has a larger grid, and the second layer has a pinhole size grids. Yeah, I noticed that with the different mesh sheets. Some of them will have a larger. I think there's 3 sizes. I think there's a large, then there's a medium, and then there's a smaller grid. Okay, you can buy from Joann's Fabrics. Okay, for substrate, there is a thin layer of Home Depot play sand. That's the same sand I use exactly Home Depot play sand in the goldfish aquarium out in Illinois. Okay, followed by a layer of Priority brand unscented kitty litter, no laterite. 1 inch of 88 Amazon Aquasoil and capped off with 2 inches of play sand. For filtration, I'm running an Eheim 2015 canister filter, which contains a sponge, 2 mesh bags of biological media, the same material I use to line the tank bottom, and BCB bags and a layer of filter floss. For heat, I have an inline hydro heater connected to the canister filter output line, set at 78 degrees. Let's see, CO2 injection, I'm running a CO2 generator purchase on eBay, 1 bubble per 2 seconds, controlled by a digital timer during its daily operation from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And it is connected to an inline diffuser via the output line. For lights, I am using a metal clamp, a desk lamp, with a VioBrite 16 watt E26 medium base par 38 non-dim indoor and greenhouse full spectrum LED grow bulb. The light is run on a separate digital timer which comes on daily at noon and shuts off at 8 p.m. At the far left of the aquarium, there is a 4-inch lift tube with an air stone. The air pump is connected to the same timer as the CO2 generator. For nutrients, I dose dry fertilizers daily, Monday to Saturday, alternating between micro and macro using the estimated index developed by Tom Barr. A weekly water change of 50% is carried out on Sundays. I have only tested the water a couple of times for ammonia during the tank's too much fishless cycle period. There was minimum ammonia detected in both tests. Currently, there are 5 female endlers, livebearers, and 9 green neons residing in this plenum paradise. In the near future, I will pick up some pearl and honey gouramis to add to the tank population. Thank you for your time and effort. And he will keep me posted on the progress, and that is from Jimmy. So this is Jimmy's aquarium. And did anyone notice the specialty plant he is growing? It's a Madagascar lace plant. It's a very rare plant. I've only seen it maybe once or twice in my lifetime where I've seen one. They're beautiful plants, okay? They can grow very big, believe it or not. The one I saw was huge. I'd say at least 2.5 feet tall. And the leaves were about 3 to 4 inches wide. And as you can see by looking at the leaves, it looks like maybe a Plecosmus came in and chewed away all the leafy part and left all the veins of the leaf. But anyhow, this is a bulb plant, and it does need to rest, go through a dormant period. But it is one of those plants that you don't see a lot of, and it's not very easy to take care of because a lot of times they wind up growing algae all over them. So you have to watch when you buy something like this to make sure it doesn't get full of algae and turns into a big mess. And of course, it's only short-lived because it has to go through a resting period and then regrow again. But yeah, I thought this was very interesting that he had the Madagascar lace plant, and you just don't see very many of them. Anyhow, that's it for this video. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. And until next time, happy fish keeping.